Everyone. Want to welcome you again to another wonderful morning Shabbat prayer, a little bit of Torah study as we enter into this Passover season. A lot of exciting things coming this month, and as we begin the book of Vayikra, it's the third book of the Chumash, the Torah, the book of Moses. Is what we are experiencing now is really this idea of new beginnings. We know spring is coming, Passover is coming. We're starting a new book in Vayikra. And so it really is an opportunity for all of us to pause for a moment and think about how it is that we want to enter into this new season, this new time. And Vayikra is the best way to do that. So what better way to enter into a new time than with gratitude, with blessing, and with exploring new ways in which to look at our prayers. And as always, we start with our morning blessings that can be found on page 146, where we start off with a series of blessings. And it really sets the mind and the consciousness on the right direction. And I consciously and gratefully this morning am with our cantor as we begin our prayers on page 146.
Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sech b'bina lehavhin ben yom u'ben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani betzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher hikin mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam anoten layav koach.
Page 218, Shochen Ad, we invite God into this space. We know God is everywhere. We're aware of that, but nothing happens in this world without an invitation where we allow people the opportunity. We reach out our hand and seek for something to come back. Shochen Ad.
Shochen ad marom v'kadosh shemo v'katuv rananu tzadikim v'adonai li'asharim nava tehila v'fi yisharim tidhalal u'v'divrei tzadikim tidbarah u'vilshon chasidim tidromam u'v'kerev kedoshim tidkadash Uv'machalot revivot amcha beit Yisrael. Shaken povat kol hayitzurim lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu lehodot lehalel leshabeach lechapair leromim lehader levarech leoleo kales al kol divrei shirot batishpachot David ben Yishai Abdecha Meshichecha Yishtabach Shimcha Lad Malkenu. Berachot v'hodot me'ata ve'ad olam Baruch atah Adonai El melech gadol batishbachot El ha'od ha'od Adon haniflaot Habocher b'shirei zimra Melech elchei ha'olamim.
Page 224, having gathered to worship as a congregation, we blend our voices and join our hearts. We link ourselves to the generation of our people through the ages and across many lands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or v'rei hoshech, oseh shalom u'v'rei et hakol. Praised are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who forms light and creates darkness, who ordains the harmony of all creation. We now turn to page 228 for El Adon.
El Adon al kol hamasim, baruch v'ora b'fi kol neshama, gadlo v'tuvo malei olam, dadu tvuna soved v'moto, hamikael al chayot hakodesh, v'nedar v'chavod al chamerchava, sudu mishor lifnei chiso, chesed v'rachamim lifnei chivodo. Tovim me'orot shabara Eloheinu, tzaram bedad bevina upaskel, koal gvura natan bahem, liot moshlim bekerev tevel, melim ziv umfikim noga, na'ezivam b'chol ha'olam, smechim b'tzeitam v'sasim bevoam, osim be'em aratzon konam. Der v'chavod notnim lishmo, zochel avarina lezecher malchuto, kara lashemesh vayizrachor, ra'a v'chit kinsurat havana, shevach notnim lo, kol tzva maron, tiferet ugedula, seraphim ve'ofanim v'chayot hakodesh.
Just love that cantor. Yasher Koach, it's just one of my favorites. And just the way you sing it, love it. 236, we offer a prayer for asking God to cause a new light to shine on Zion, newness. May we look at this new season through new eyes and not get stuck in what we think it is. And may we all be worthy to delight in its splendor. Praised are you, O Lord, creator of the heavenly lights.
Or hadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkefu lanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot.
On 238, we prepare for the Shema. There are several blessings before the Shema as we prepare for the centerpiece, really, of the prayer service. And with abounding love have you loved us, Lord our God. Great and overflowing tenderness have you shown us. Ahava Rabbah.
Ahava Rabbah Havtanu Adonai Eloheinu Hem Lagedol Avitera Amalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avur Avotenu Shabbat Chu B'cha Avinu Malkeinu Vad lamdem chukei chayim, kein techanenu tlamdenu, avinu ha'av, harachaman, amrachem, rachem aleinu. V'tein belibenu lehavinu hashkil lishmoa, lelamodu lelamed, lishmor velasod. Ulkayem et kol divrei Talmud Torah techa be'ahava v'ha'er einenu b'torah techa da'abek lebeinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yached levavenu be'ahava ulira et shemecha v'lo nevosh le'olam va'ed v'lo nevosh le'olam va'ed ki v'shem kodshecha hagadol v'hanora b'taknu nagila v'nizmecha b'shuatecha.
V'havienu, gather our people in peace, O Lord, from the four corners of the earth as we gather our four-seat from the four corners of our talit.
V'havienu le'shalom me'arba kanfot haaretz v'tolichenu komemiut le'artzenu Ki el poel Yeshuot ata, uvanu v'charta mikolam v'lashon, v'keravtanu L'shimecha hagadol sela be'emet lehodot lecha u'yachedcha be'ahava Baruch atah Adonai Abocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha V'chol nafshecha U'v'chol meodecha Ve'hayu hadibarim ha'eleh Asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shachbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einenecha Uktavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes, the corner of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclinations of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus you will be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God."
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen.
אמת ויציב ונכון וקיים, וישר ונאמן ואהוב וחביב ונחמד ונעים ונורא ואדיר ומתוקן ומקובל וטוב ויפה הדבר הזה עלינו לעולם ועד. This teaching is true and enduring. Truly, the God of the universe is our sovereign. The rock of Jacob is our protecting shield, who exists throughout all the generations, whose sovereignty is firmly established and whose faithfulness endures forever. We now turn our attention as we prepare for the Shabbat morning Amidah on page 252.
Tehilot le'elyon barhum vorach, Moshe u'bnei Yisrael lechanu shira, v'simcha rava v'yomru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bar kodesh, Nohra tehilot osefele. Shira hadasha shibchu golim l'shimcha al safat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu v'him lahu v'yomru. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Sur Yisrael, kuma ve'ezrat Yisrael. Ufedei chinumecha. Yehuda v'Yisrael, go aleinu Adonai tzavot shemo, kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Page 254 for the Shachrit Amida, we join the cantor with the first several brachot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel hasadim tovim v'konei hakol v'zocher chazdei ahavot u'mevi goel livnei v'neihem leman shemo be'ahava melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashib Haruach Umorid Hagashem Mechal Kel Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Berofeh Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memid Umachaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanata L'chahayot Metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hametim.
We thankfully acknowledge you, our God and God of our ancestors, Lord of eternity. You are the source of our strength, even as you have been Israel's protecting shield in every generation. We thank you and proclaim your praise for our lives, which are in your hands, for our souls, which are in your care, for your miracles, which are with us, and for your wondrous kindness at all times, morning, noon, and night. Source of all goodness, your mercies never fail. Source of compassion, your kindness never ceases. You are our abiding hope.
Say shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen.
Shekoach to you, Cantor. We now turn our attention, obviously, to the weekly portion. We are beginning the book of Vayikra, and the book of Vayikra is popularly called Vayikra. It literally means he called, which is just the first distinctive word of the book and also the first distinctive word of the Parsha. But it's also informally known as the Torah Kohanim, the instructions for the priests. And the priests, of course, this is their book. I think over half, actually, of all the 600, we're familiar with the 613 commandments, over half of them are in this portion. Pretty interesting. So why don't we read a little bit, have a little discussion about it. So we say the bracha, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Vayikra el Moshe, Vaydaber Adonai elav, me'ohel mo'ed lemor, dahaber el b'nei Yisrael, v'amata alehem Adam, ki akriv mikem korban l'Adonai, min ha'behema, min ha'bakar u'min ha'tzon, takrivu et korbanachem, imula korbano min habakar, zachar tamim, yakrivenu, el petach ohel moed yakrivu toho, lirtzono lifnei Adonai. Just a few pasukim to get a little bit of the flavor. And what do we say? The Lord called to Moses and spoke to him that Moses should gather from the tent of the meeting, saying, "Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, when any of you presents an offering," and so on and so forth. And it goes into all of the expectations of the offerings, right? And we spoke about how it's the Torah Kohanim, the book of the priests. We have our cantor is a Kohen, so this was something that he started studying at a very, very early age, and he is well versed in it. I kid a little bit. We've kind of removed ourselves, obviously, from the temple sacrifice, but it was such a big part that traditionally young children would start to learn this portion first, this book first, to get all the rules and regulations before exploring other aspects of the Torah. But I wanted to talk about something that's very kind of subtle, and we're all aware that the first word of the book and the first word of the parsha, of course, is Vayikra. And many of you will notice, if you look at the actual text, the original text in the Chumash that you may have, or in the Torah, the Aleph is a little smaller. The Aleph is a little smaller. And I'd like to just share a thought on that. This entire book, as we said, is devoted to how the Kohanim should behave. And it is really a part of how the Kohanim work in the world. But it's not just about what the Kohanim do. It is what the Kohanim will become. In other words, they do all of these things. They do all of the rites and rituals and aspects of the temple service, not so that they can just do, not so that they can just say that they've done the actions. We get really confused about this when we start doing rituals, that we just need to get it done, mark it off. I light my candles at the right time. I do this at the right time. I do this. I don't do that. It becomes very, very habitual almost. And what it is not what you do, it's what you become because of it. It is about creating the conditions so that you can become a Kohen. So what and why is the Aleph a little smaller? Because it is the same with a word that starts with an Aleph, Ahava, love. It's the same as love. Oftentimes people talk about love as being a verb. The real verb is the relationship, what you do in the relationship, but it is not what you become. In other words, love is not about what you do. Love is not about what you do. It's about creating the conditions so that love can flourish. It is about what you can become. Take, for example, if you look at any garden or anything in which, well, unfortunately, my aunt gave my wife and I a beautiful plant a few weeks ago when she came to visit. We hadn't seen her in a year, and she came and we chatted outside for a little bit, and she dropped off a plant. And my wife and I joke about this, is that we end up killing all the plants in our home. It's just the way we are. Why? It is because we do not create the conditions that are conducive for the plant to survive, for the plant to thrive, for the plant to really be. And when our cantor is showing us his plant that it looks like maybe he gets cactuses, right? But the truth of the matter is that we create the environment for the plant to survive and thrive. And if we don't do that, then it won't flourish. We have to build ourselves and do so that we create the actions that we take. The do that we do should only be directed towards creating an environment in which, in this case, love can survive and live and flourish. That is what it's about. Love is not something that we do. Love is something that we become by creating the conditions in our home and within ourselves to truly be love. And that's what we learn from this week's Torah portion. We now conclude our service on page 480 with Elena.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula le'ser breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kachol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz, Umoshav yikaro b'shamayim ha'al, ushchinatu zo, begav he meromim, hu Eloheinu enod, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatu betorato, V'yadata hayom v'hashebota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mimha ve'al ha'aretz mitachat enod.
For sovereignty is yours unto all eternity. You will reign in glory. As is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. And it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, the Lord shall be one and shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol ha'aretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad.
May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In this week's Yortzites, Hyman Eller, father of Sandra Raymer; Robert Garcia, father of Charlie Ann Brown; Brina Rabinovich, mother of Saul Raviv; Rose Radvani, mother-in-law of Ira Lieberman; Sarah Nisanoff, grandmother of Gary Stein; Michael Blitz, son of Maury Blitz; Mildred Hodis, mother of Jay Hodis; Minnie Levine, mother-in-law of Patricia Levine; Moisha Elnakev, uncle of Danny Maya; Miles Gardner, father of John Gardner; Barnett Goldberg, father of Irene Levine; Barney Goldberg, Barney Goldberg, grandfather of Linda Horton; Beatrice Grossman, mother of Linda Stilson; Sandy Krause, mother of Sue Liederman. Ribono shel olam, Elohai rechol lechol basar, master of the world, God of the spirit of all flesh, it is revealed and known before you that it is our desire to praise your name. May our yearnings and prayers find favor in your eyes and be accepted and received before you. And may you grant healing and hope to all who suffer. May we soon again be able to safely gather in holiness and joy. May your name, God, be elevated and sanctified everywhere on earth, and may peace reign everywhere. Say Shalom ben Romav, Kuya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the heights, grant us harmony and peace for us, for all Israel, and all humankind. And let us all say Amen. Want to wish you a Yasher Koach cantor as we conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 488.
Adon Olam asher malah b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa hefzakol azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam ve'acharei kichlot takol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam V'chu echad v'yein sheni l'hamshilo l'hachbira Adon Olam beli reshit beli tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'hamizra Adon Olam v'hu eli v'chai goali v'tzur hevli be'etzara Adon Olam v'hu nisi umanosli menakosi be'yom ekra Adon Olam be'yado Avkid ruchi, v'yedi shan v'yayira Adon Olam, v'yim ruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira, Adon olam, asher malah. B'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'et nasa, v'efsa kol, azay melech shemo nikra, Adon olam. Shabbat
Asher
shalom.
Koach. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Thank you,
Shabbat
Rabbi.
Shalom, everyone.